Hi, my name is Joanna Hernandez. This is my first semester in UTSA, and I'm currently enrolled in Master's Education Concentration in Early Childhood Studies. I obtained my bachelor's degree from Texas A&M University of San Antonio in EC-6 education. What got me in this path of education with my son and working with the child development settings that I practiced the NAEYC, meaning the National Association Education of Young Children. Their philosophy is that children learn to play. This helped me that the teachers play a big role model that helps students' development because we help guide, construct, and mold. Through this course, I'm learning the 5 modules that were presented, and that was educational enterprise, interdisciplinary, social justice, and education and learning theories. And teaching today's learners has helped me reflect, understand, transform, aware, and apply the theories in the classroom. This made me want to work more in the Title I schools and lower income communities to apply the different strategies into the classroom, and this can be shared with other educators, and that every student should have access for proper education because they're our next generation as well as citizens in our society. Being informed with the educational enterprise and readings from the information of education system from Golden and Ladson Billings. Some students were privileged to receive schooling, but many of them did not have the advantage because of their ethnicity and their economic status. Many professionals are working on the achievement gap by narrowing the education debt. But first we must understand what was the cause and how did it begin. In my opinion, we tend to forget about history and more likely to repeat history. Reflecting from the history of education, we should learn from it and think about in what ways we can improve our teaching and be great role models for our students because they are our future generation. What the core values I resonate with was transformative and critically conscious. To be conscious in my teachings to help evolve the education, but it starts with the teachers. The interdisciplinary studies. Nissan brings good examples that educators can be creative in their lessons by connecting other subjects by integrating them together and coming with new methods of teaching. Evolving this approach can contribute by creating pathways by introducing new perspectives and teaching methods, connecting and adding diversity into the lessons. And the social justice and education. Aon and Ferry explain very well about the problem in education. Aon brings attention how certain schools teach by the economic status of school, and they only teach the students to remember the theory instead of the creativity using the higher blooms of taxonomy. This I find very unfairly because this robs the students from their education. As an educator, and knowing this information is important to bring attention because every student should have access and equal to education as every other student. Ferry observes that teacher is the oppressor and the students are being oppressed by the oppressor because as educators we're just teaching students in a way just to take information in instead of being critical thinkers. As teachers, we must be aware on how we are teaching and ask ourselves, are we teaching for students to be critical thinkers or are we oppressing them? Learning theories. Working in the early childhood studies. Piaget, Vygotsky, and Skinner are mentioned because of these theories involves development and behavior. In the early childhood, different cognitive stages are explained and how the infant child processes information from period to the next stage, from language, sensory recognition, and knowing each stage is an important process for the child to go through. As an educator, it's important to know and understand these different stages because a child may be a certain stage and it isn't understanding a certain maturity because a child is not on that stage of development. So the educator must work where the child is at and help construct and guide the child. Learning and recognizing these stages of development can give the educator a better understanding of development about the student. Skinner's strategies mentions positive and negative responses through behavior. If a child is misbehaving, a child will be punished, and if well-behaved, a child is rewarded. There has been studied that this has been proven that it does not always work because a child will seek negative and positive attention no matter what. Vygotsky in his observation on children learning development on how children can learn from the experience and build more abilities from assistants or from their peers. I agree with Vygotsky that kids but also adults learn from people around them. As educators, it's important to integrate and facilitate these practices into the classroom, especially the early childhood settings. Applying constructivism will help students build from what they know and create. We want to encourage students to ask questions, to problem solve with others. As educators, we are there to help students learn, but in my opinion, we're also there as a guide, meaning we're not there to give the students every answer to all their questions, because then we're robbing their education as well, them thinking independently. Reading other theories in this course helped me gain more knowledge as well as insight to make more application in the classroom setting and the world around me. Knows. Another theory is mentioned when teaching a child to learn is basically molding the child's mind on what the teacher wants to input, such as how to be critical thinkers, remembering, ask questions, count, read, etc. When it comes to teaching an adult, instead of telling them what they should be learning, an adult wants to know the reasons why they're learning the information. I found this information very interesting as well. Agreed. Teaching today's learners. Today we're living in the 21st century. Many strategies and theories have been discovered and applied through the years. Lee mentions we as teachers must inform and educate ourselves from our students as well, understand the different cultures, to know the students' interests so we can educate them. Use it to educate them. Furthermore, by making connections with the students when teaching, we can make connections, create lessons and activities that the students can relate to, something or she does at home, that funds of knowledge. I believe making connection with students is very important, because not every student has what another student has as well. We're all different kinds of learners in the classroom. Howard informs his readers about inclusion and the education system with special needs, how students with special needs benefits being around other peers that are not special needs, and it helps with socialization, academics, as well as education. Students grow from one another because belonging and friendship are very important for students and benefits students in a positive way. In my opinion, this helps all students because this helps students learn and help and accept others than rejecting others because of their differences. Prensky talks about technology and how we're living in the 21st century and it is changing very rapidly, with involving teachers to have to catch up and educate the students. I find this very true, but many students may be more informed with certain devices than teachers, but as teachers we can learn from our students as well. By students being able to share on what they know about the devices in the classroom, this can be a good collaboration with teachers and students working together. Even though a teacher may feel uncomfortable with technology, in my opinion, I feel it's important to keep ourselves updated with this information so we don't have to fall behind. Although I do feel it's important that teachers teach students with technology and basic materials as well without technology, so they can be informed how to do things with and without technology. As educators, we always want to motivate our students and learning in ways that what is going to help them grow, stride, and become great citizens in society as well, their future.